Provenance, noun, the place where something originally comes from. So welcome to Provenance. I'm going to show you what's in these boxes today, but before I do that, I'm going to do a little demonstration for you. So when I'm drawing, all my drawings start with a foundation, a skeleton. I call it the DNA of the drawing. And then I choose what I fill in those pockets with. And I've always been curious about if I'm presented with that same skeleton over periods of time, would I fill it in with the same thing? I don't know if that makes sense, so let me do a quick demonstration. Okay, so I'm drawing now the skeleton of the drawing, the foundation, the DNA, the structure of the drawing. 90% of my work starts in this way. So I have the DNA, the structure, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace this. So I got a piece of paper here, so let's trace this. Ideally, I would just photocopy this. So now we have some copies of these. We got 3 of them. So we got 4. And so now imagine today is whatever day it is, who knows. And I'm going to fill this in. This feels like it should be a bird. Do a quick bird there. Little face here. And so I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. I'm letting the drawing, I'm letting the shapes tell me what goes in them. So I fill that in, and now imagine in 2 weeks' time, or 2 months' time, or 2 years' time, I come back and I fill in these others. So this is actually an experiment I tried in 2016. But instead of doing it with physical paper, I did it digitally with a drawing app. Here we go. So I'm just going to lay these out one by one, but what this is this is an experiment over a period of a year where I'm taking that DNA, I'm taking that structure, and I'm filling it in. So I won't get them all out, but you get the idea. And I think the fun thing about looking back at these is to see over that period of time what was consistent and what was different. So come and have a look. So when we look at this skeleton, consistently there's a boat in each of these bottom sections. Consistently there's a stick figure, sometimes 2 in this case, in this type of shape. In this type of face, or this type of shape, there's a face, and same here. So what's really interesting is that what this tells me is that there is a language, or there is a logic, or there is a system, or there are rules to the way that I'm working. So when it's a certain type of shape, that shape is either filled in with faces, or birds, or boats, or stick figures, or landscapes. So it's really interesting to look back at all of these and see the rules that were created. So this was part 1, and there is actually a part 2, which I'll show you very quickly. So let's close that up. And just for fun, part 2 was inverse. It was inverted, so it's white on black. And similar thing, you can see in this one, this is the DNA, this is the structure, and quite consistently you have these 2 faces. And in these last 2 you have these 2 faces here too, but not in these top 1. So not always is it 100% consistent, but here we have 2 out of 3 times, which is really fun. And I'm going to be turning these into a book, into a zine, which you can buy at the Whitney Museum shop in New York and also online. But for me, these are fun experiments. So perhaps something that you can try if you're drawing, if you're creating, if you're illustrating. Look back at all the work you've created. Are there common themes? Are there recurring ways that you're constructing things? Is there a narrative? Is there a story? So what this tells me about my work is that there's rules, there's systems, there's a process.